I think I'm recording. I don't know. Is all this happening? One sec. Looks like we're recording. Okay. You guys, the wheels fell off. The pets' heads are on the floor. I'm on the eve of beginning the podcast adventure, and it has just been one thing after the next, and I'm just trying to figure out what is going on. Okay, first off, I hate everything. I hate this. Why do I feel the need to come on here and share this? So it feels like a tumultuous relationship with content creation because it just feels like it's been all over the place. Your biggest obstacle in life will often be yourself. And I'm just tapping into that so much right now. And just the mental space that I'm in, on the verge of doing something that feels really scary, but also really important. And just all of the things that have been obstacles, where it felt like it should just be as easy as breathing, and it's not. It's so hard to get something started that you believe in. It's one thing to have a great idea, and it's a whole other thing to execute that idea, because there's very rarely ever going to be anything handed to you. And that was one of my biggest hurdles or obstacles that got in the way of getting my foot in the door when I was trying to become an actress, is that it's not easy. It's mentally very, very straining because you're constantly being told no by external factors, but then there's also internal factors. There's all of these things that you have to get over within yourself in order to just believe that it's even possible. And sometimes that is like a Herculean effort, and it doesn't happen. And I suffered from hypothyroidism, and I was always so tired I could barely get out of bed. I didn't know I had hypothyroidism. I just thought that there was something wrong with me. And so it played really heavily on my self-esteem, which I don't think was honestly ever that great. I have been working on building self-esteem to be able to sit here and talk to you like this since I was very small. I don't know why it never really hit. It just didn't happen for me. I just feel like I always had really low self-worth, low self-esteem. And so having these dreams or these callings to want to be in front of a camera or execute these ideas that involve being seen and being perceived and being judged and being critiqued, they're not wrong because I don't have the self-esteem to support them. I need to work on building a better foundation so that I can. And I stand here today saying that I feel like I've done that work, but there's still work. And on the eve of starting a podcast, as you can see, I have my space set up. I'm in my space, but I'm not like seated in my space. There's just so many things coming up in my mind that are like, not necessarily, I've gotten over the audacity thing. Like, we have the audacity. I believe that everything that we are going to say is worthwhile. And it's important. I feel, especially with Sharon, I feel like the two of us driving the conversation, we have a lot of really important service, value-based oriented stuff that we want to do. And that sits really well with me for how I want to show up in the world as an individual. That's what I want to do. I want to help people. I've always wanted to help people, but I've wanted to do it like having fun. Like, so it should be a fun podcast. Like, we're going to talk about some deep stuff, but we also, are going to make a lot of dick jokes because that's in our wheelhouse. So come along for the ride, pun intended. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like the day's been weird, and I've been really having to navigate my self-esteem and my self-worth issues primarily through motherhood and being a wife, because I agreed to being the stay-at-home mom. I agreed to putting my career or anything that I was necessarily working on at the time, which was not this at all. It was education. I had my own education business when I decided that it would make the most sense for me to stay home instead of continuing to grow and pursue that. Also, between you and me, I was like, if I am going to make time to be away from my kids, I don't want to be around other kids. And I think that that's fair because you need to have balance. That became very clear when I became a stay-at-home mom and realized that I just need other stimulus. And I put my career or my dreams of having a career in entertainment on the back burner when I met my husband, thinking that, maybe that's just never going to happen for me. I just don't know if I have what it takes. Now I do. And it's never too late to start believing in yourself again. And I hope that if you take anything away from this and anything that I'm doing, that you believe that too. That if you have something that God put in your heart that you know that you have a God-given talent for, do it. You have to. You have to. And I hope that this drives that home for you. You have to. And so I'm feeling the have to, but I'm also feeling all of the things that have gotten in the way of the have to. And it's prioritizing myself. It's prioritizing all of the things that I need to do in order to be successful at this, which maybe from the outside looking in, I get it, might look really weird, might look really strange, and possibly like a waste of time if you don't have the bigger arcing plan in your sight, which most people won't. That's mine. It's mine. It's between me and God, if you believe in God. I don't care. I don't think you need to believe in God for any of this to matter. But whoever you're talking to that is justifying your path and what you want to do in your life, that's the only thing that matters. It's just been such a freaking weird time for me. And I think that it's good that that's what's been happening. It's always good when things bring things up for you, because you have to bring them to light before you can let them go. And so getting this close to really pulling the trigger on recording these podcasts, which we've been working on building this podcast and developing this podcast and brainstorming this podcast and like getting all of the equipment and thinking about how are we going to do this? What is our brand? Like we've been really working on this for 4, 5, 6, it's June almost. So we've been working on it for 6 months, a half a year, and we're finally going to press record tomorrow. And it's just brought up so much stuff. And I hope that this stands as some sort of a record. I mean, this really is the epitome of a vlog. Like I am just diarying. Maybe we say journaling, not diary, because that could be misconstrued, but also kind of that. I'm journaling out loud, so I guess that's a vlog. Yeah. This is just my captain's log along the journey that wherever this ship takes us, this is where it started. I'm insecure as fuck about it, okay? Just want anyone to know that if this, and I hope it does, ends up being something that we really just stick with and we don't take no for an answer and we make it happen for ourselves, that this is where it started. And I hope that that helps anybody else who's in a similar position watching this start their journey unsteady. Because it's a lie. I thought that I had this figured out 2 weeks ago, and then it didn't pan out the way that I thought it would. I stood up for myself and I said, if there is any extra money in this relationship, if there's any extra money in this marriage, it needs to go towards freeing up some of my time. And that was a big step for me. It's a huge step for me, because I thought that I would be letting my family down by not being 120% committed all of my time toward the familial responsibilities of raising 2 small children, taking care of a house, doing the laundry, going and getting the groceries, cooking all the meals, getting all of the shopping done, making sure their clothes fit, rotating everything. I mean, the list never ends. And I feel like before you become a stay-at-home mom and you agree to do all these things, or parent, these responsibilities do just fall on you. And you don't recognize just how much of your time it is going to take, and anything else that you want to do in your life is just it's not going to be a priority. And if you do start to prioritize that, the guilt, because now it feels like I bait and switched you. I told you I was going to do all this stuff. We went into this agreeing that I was going to do all this stuff, but now I'm in it and I'm drowning. I don't want to give up my goals. I don't want to give up my aspirations, and I don't want to wait. And I don't think I should have to, and I don't think you should have to either. There's always a way. But the biggest obstacle was asserting myself and saying, I need this. So anyways, tangent, I finally get childcare. And so I start looking into how am I going to schedule and plan to do all of this media-based stuff that I know is at least going to help me take baby steps in the direction that I want to go as a creative artist. And then the Monday that I have everything planned to go, of course, my daughter wakes up throwing up. Whose day goes first? Mine. So my entire work day that I had scheduled for myself, which by the way is 4 hours, 3 days a week, that is the work day that I have to work within. It just went. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, the air out of the balloon was just like, oh, like someone kicked me in the chest. And then the next day, the babysitter was sick. My entire week, she didn't come. My entire week just got blown up. Now I feel behind. I feel just so behind. And even today, and then yesterday was a holiday. So my Monday, which is supposed to be my filming day, I didn't get to do. And so I like have these beautiful, wonderful laid plans, And, you know, you can give up so easily when that stuff happens to you. You can chalk it up to being like, well, I guess it's just not the right time, or it's not meant for me, or, you know, it shouldn't feel like this. Well, sometimes it does. You know, sometimes it does. Sometimes it feels like this. And it doesn't mean that you give up. And that's what I want the big takeaway. This is not the kind of content that I thought I was going to be making. But here I am, and I'm going to post it because it's staying true to my values and my principles of starting a YouTube channel, which is just being authentically true to who I am, whoever I am, when I am, and whoever that is. Like, this is actually terrible framing. My hair looks terrible. I didn't put any makeup on. Like, this is my lunch. It's a piece of cheese rolled up in ham so that I could come up here and I could do this. Because it was really important to me that I continue to film. It's not gonna look today like I wanted it to look. Not even close. I had like a whole scripted video that I wanted to film today. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, guys. But that's okay. It'll happen next week. Or never. Whatever. Take care of yourselves. Start your life in the middle of the jungle. Okay. I love you. If you dare, subscribe to my channel, but only if you dare. And definitely check out our podcast. And if you found this because you listened to our podcast and now you know me, we have an eternal bond for life. I love you so much. Okay, well, leave a comment, like and subscribe. Okay, I'm gonna go cry now. Bye.